So you are into audio and you are looking for audio gears. You happen to be in Japan. So where do you go? This is the Yodobashi Akihabara, located on the fourth floor. There's literally tons and tons of audio gear. It is a place where audiophile goes to die. I have something specific which I have in my mind today, which is why I am here, because I am looking for two things, right? Or more than that, if possible, if my pocket allows it, which is essentially Japanese related brand, especially stack, Sony, 4-stack, or even Audio Technica, or even Yamaha. So join me, let's see if I can find those audio gears which are very Japan specific. Trying out the Sony MDR 7506 now. This headphone is a monitoring headphone in legendary, so let's check it out. This is a pure BTR. Now this is monitoring headphone. Excellent clarity, solution imaging, neutral and uncolored. Surprisingly very light too. Very nice. Okay, let's try another one, which is another popular monitoring headphone from Sony, which is this MDR 900 ST. Oh, it's the plug. I finally managed to get my own Sony MDR 7506, this legendary monitoring headphone. I would have tried the other one, but as you have seen earlier, I wasn't able to try it, but I was already in love with the sort of sound that this MDR 7506 offered. The sort of sound which I consider as transparent, neutral, uncolored, extremely resolving, and does not exhibit any kind of offensiveness to the sound itself. So let's just have a look at what's inside the box. Okay, for the first time, unboxing it. Damn, man, I feel like a kid once again, all over. Okay. Studio style table. All this. Okay. And the headphone itself. All right, look at that. Legendary. Made in Japan, bought in Japan. And I guess this would require a bit of burn-in since this is a dynamic driver. Okay. And I hope to be able to use this Sony MDR 7506 as my primary monitoring headphone, especially when doing editing, because sound accuracy is very important to me. And then the isolation that it will provide would definitely be useful for me to determine if I am making, proper recording. So here it is. Finally, I bought it. Been looking for this for almost like 3 years now. Been wanting it, but not easy to get because this is SRS 002 is essentially discontinued. You can't buy it anywhere online nowadays unless you try to import directly through eBay, all right, by independent Japanese eBay reseller. So it cost me this 42,480 yen, which is essentially close to 300 US dollar. So let's just quickly have a look what's inside. Okay, so inside you're gonna find this, everything in Japanese. Right, I guess this is the warranty card, instruction manual. Okay, and here finally the unit. Okay, since this is an electrostatic, so it comes in several components. Okay, as I mentioned earlier, electrostatic is special. So this is the amplifier or the energizer unit. Okay, the first part of an electrostatic component, and they also thankfully include this two AA battery here. Just gonna open one thing. Alright, so this should be very easy. Just that. Looks like a very classic radio here. You're just gonna plug it like that. Like that. Done. So this is pretty much set up for the energizer part of it. Okay. Now let's just have a look at the ear speaker itself. And this is the headband. Okay. And these are the miniaturized electrostatic ear speaker. Have a look at it. Thank you. Damn, I am so very excited. I've been wanting to get this because this is not my first stack, obviously. I have already owned 3 stack before, which is the earlier generation, SRS001 Mark II. I have 2 of them, which I already modified as well. And of course, on top of that, I already have Shure KSE 1500, which I mentioned quite a lot, which I use quite a lot. Okay, look at the connector here. This is what makes electrostatic special. They don't just work on the same principle like, you know, the normal audio. This is legitimate, genuine electrostatic. Okay, so you just plug it in like that. Yeah, first time plug in, kind of a bit very snug. Yeah, it's in. Then turn it on. It's on. So now, on the principle that this is an amplifier, of course, you can find also here included an out mini to mini cable, which will then connect to your player. Okay. So in this particular instance, what I'm going to do is that just connect it to my FEO BTR15 here, which is already connected. All right. So just gonna plug it like that, and then yeah. All right. So this thing is pretty much ready for use now. Okay, let's just quickly have a look. How does it sound like? Okay, and it comes with these silicone ear tips. Okay, just gonna try to plug it into my ear. See that? Oh, I miss that sound.
You don't see electrostatic headphones or IEM too many nowadays because simply it is a very difficult technology to implement. And let me just clarify this. Whichever IEM that you see out there that claim to have electrostatic drivers, they are not true electrostatic, okay? They are more like a hybrid of magneto-electrostatic. So let me just explain. Let's just go back a bit on the technical aspect of electrostatic technology. You see, electrostatic works in a principle of high voltage, very high voltage. In the case of some stack headphones, it requires at least 590, yes, correct, 590 volt of DC power. And in the case of Shure, it requires at around 200 volt of DC power. That's a lot of power. So, my manner of saying is that electrostatic headphone cannot emit sound on its own. It will always require an amplifier specially designed for electrostatic, capable of pushing up to in excess of 147,000 ohm of resistance on this electrostatic headphone. So, the principle of electrostatic is simple. For example, like they have this one very thin, simple diaphragm, right in the middle between 2 stator plates, at which this plate will then emit this electricity between the 2 of them, okay, high voltage electricity to move the diaphragm. So there's no magnet involved there. It doesn't work like what, you know, dynamic driver or magnetic planar, as the name imply, magnet, to emit sound. And that is why electrostatic tend to be superior than any other type of drivers in the market nowadays. Okay, so let's just have a look a bit on the history of electrostatic. You see, I am in Japan now, and one of the reasons that I mentioned earlier that I was hunting for electrostatic headphone, especially Stack, because this particular brand, which is Stack, introduced in 1959, which was very long time ago, before I was even born, right? That Japanese people pioneered the implementation of electrostatic headphone, okay? And then only several years after that, the next iteration of electrostatic headphone was introduced in 1968. Again, even earlier, even still early enough before the year I was born. Okay, that was from COS, an American company. So you can imagine that, you know, these are something which I would consider as something a bit more exotic and exclusive. Because just like my Stack here, which is SRS-002, which I have purchased earlier, which I have shown you, right? I have been looking for this unit for a very long time. And this is my third, or should I say probably fourth electrostatic portable device, okay? And I prefer portable implementation of electrostatic because the headphones tend to be bigger and you can't move them around. Okay, my first electrostatic was another Stack in 2006, which was SRS-001 Mark II. And after that, another SRS-001 Mark II, which I modified quite a lot, as you can see here. And then, after that, for a very long time, after moving on from Stack, I actually use quite a lot of Shure KSE 1500, which is the KSA 12,000 model, which I mentioned quite a lot if you are familiar with my channel. That is my sound reference. And one of the key reasons that I love electrostatic sound so very much, as noted here, if superiority in sound, especially when it comes to dynamic handling, dynamic transient, dynamic expression, the accuracy, the speed, the resolution, and the imaging, nothing can beat electrostatic, okay? Because the way it emits the sound between that, you know, vibration between those two magnets, it is literally free of any sort of distortion or any kind of resistance, right? So you don't hear any kind of delay or any kind of lagging between the way it handles the transient, no matter how complex the music is. The best part is that while doing it, right, it does not sound offensive at all. So you get to hear me saying this quite a lot, analog sound. But being analog also tend to be a bit more dull edge, okay? But when you listen to electrostatic headphone like this one, for example, and especially Shure KSE 1500, which is still my reference because that is admittedly still superior than this, but this is a bit more musical and more open sounding as compared to the closed back Shure KSE 1500. It is very well balanced, this particular unit, why I want it, and very musical. At the same time, I still have that excellent, out of this world sort of technicality which I would regard as unmatched by any other IEM in the market nowadays.